Good day, my name is Zhen Jie. This is my individual assignment on a workplace moral issue, analyzed through the Aristotle's virtue ethics and the golden mean. The interviewee has worked in a multinational logistics company for almost 10 years, mainly in internal support and compliance-related roles. The workplace was generally acceptable, diverse, and collaborative. Three people are central to this case: the interviewee, individual A, who was the operational general manager, and superior B, the internal compliance general manager, who was also the interviewee's direct superior and later provided guidance during the issue. This issue began after the interviewee transferred into internal compliance. Individual A instructed the interviewee to proceed with a request and stated that because his department was paying for his payroll, the interviewee needed to listen. However, the interviewee preferred to consult Superior B before taking action. After this incident, the behavior developed into a repeated pattern. Individual A avoided direct engagement, relied on indirect communication through others, and negative performance comments later surfaced. During this period, Superior B advised the interviewee to remain calm and continue focusing on their responsibilities. Individual A's behavior best fits the vice of injustice because it reflected repeated unfair treatment, a lack of impartiality, and unequal professional respect. In Aristotle's term, justice is not just about avoiding obvious wrongdoing, it is about treating others fairly and consistently in daily conduct. This behavior also reflected arrogance or boastful, as positional authority was used to place oneself above others and diminish their dignity. The statement, "I'm paying your payroll, you need to listen to me," suggests that authority was used to demand compliance rather than encourage mutual professional respect. This reflects an attitude of superiority, which Aristotle would regard as moving away from the virtue of humility. Superior B's behavior best fits patience. B remained calm, did not escalate the conflict, and provided a steady response. In this case, B helped the interviewee feel reassured, even though the issue itself remained unresolved officially. This shows patience in action because B maintained composure under pressure without reacting emotionally. According to Aristotle, virtue lies in the mean between two vices. Unlike many other approaches, both deficiency and excess are considered vices, while the virtue lies in the balanced middle. Here, justice lies between injustice and favoritism. In this case, individual A leaned towards injustice because the treatment lacked fairness and impartiality. A virtuous person would instead act fairly, give equal respect, and judge others based on reasons rather than personal bias. Individual A's behavior also shows a lack of humility. Aristotle places humility in between self-deprecation and arrogance or boastful. The statement about paying payroll suggests arrogance or boastful because it treats the other person as of lesser dignity and uses position to dominate rather than to respect. A virtuous person would still be confident, but will express that confidence with respect, openness, and awareness of others' worth. Superior B fits patience, which lies between apathy and impatience. Throughout this situation, Superior B remained calm and professional, rather than reacting emotionally or escalating the conflict. B demonstrated composure and restraint when guiding the interviewee. This response reflects patience because it involves endurance and tolerance in the face of workplace difficulty. However, Aristotle reminds us that virtues require balance. Patience remains virtuous only when composure does not become indifference. According to Aristotle, people becomes virtuous through habituation, which means repeatedly practicing good actions until they become part of one's character. In this case, individual A lacked the virtue of justice. To cultivate justice, individual A should practice direct communication instead of avoiding engagement. He should seek different perspectives before making judgments and evaluate colleagues based on objective evidence rather than personal feelings. Justice also requires treating others fairly regardless of hierarchy. After interactions, one can reflect by asking whether the response was fair and impartial. Through habituation, repeated fair actions gradually shape just character. Individual A also demonstrated arrogance or boastful through the misuse of positional authority. Aristotle suggests that humility can be developed through repeated practice. Individual A should recognize that authority does not reduce the dignity of others. He should respect the expertise of colleagues, listen before responding, and acknowledge that his own perspective may not always be correct. Being open to feedback and expressing appreciation towards others are also important habits. Through habituation, repeated respectful behaviors gradually cultivate humility. In conclusion, this case illustrates that repeated actions not only reveal character, but also shape who a person becomes. Individual A demonstrated the vices of injustice and arrogance or boastful, reflecting the absence of justice and humility. In contrast, Superior B demonstrated patience and helped maintain composure during a difficult situation. However, Aristotle reminds us that virtues require balance, and patience should not drift towards apathy or impatience. Ultimately, virtues are cultivated through habituation, where repeated practice of the golden mean gradually forms a good character. Thank you.